Hi, I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin.
And I'm Arthur Nowlin.
Welcome to Making It Work. Our topic today, multicultural marriages. Arthur, let me ask you, do you think that African American men, European American men, or men in general are crossing over to other cultures because of what reason?
Well, I don't think it's just men. I think it's people.
It's people.
People have an opportunity to venture out and to find out about different people in different countries because of the technology that's available.
Okay.
The internet, smartphones.
Okay.
So I just think that's a chance so they can go and have a relationship.
Let me ask
develop
you.
good communication
Okay,
skills.
good communication. Do you think if you had seen my picture, which would have been beautiful, on the internet, and you were doing internet dating, would you have selected me?
It's no doubt I would have selected you. And the thing about it is,
What?
when I had an opportunity to talk to you, would I still keep you?
All right. Well, good thing we didn't meet through the internet, but he has kept me, and it's a blessing.
Truly a blessing.
Pastor, I want to welcome you and your beautiful wife, Vivian, to Making It Work. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Listen, I want to go back a little bit with you, Pastor Willis. Some time ago, you went through a difficult time. Can you share that with our viewers?
Yes, I was married for about a year, and that didn't quite work out the way I had planned. You know, we ended up getting divorced. You know, pastors, in my lifetime, you know, in my view of what my life was going to be about, I didn't imagine that I would ever have to go through a difficult experience like that.
I see. So this was unbeknownst to you that she was contemplating divorcing you.
Well, I knew that things were going to start turning the corner when she came home one day and the car smelled like cigarette smoke.
Oh, okay.
And as that was the beginning of the discovery that life was very different in our house for her than it was for me.
I see, I see. Were you of the same persuasion and denomination?
Absolutely. We belonged to the same faith group. I met her in a church, and so I believed I had a good situation.
I see. So you had to make a decision.
I did, and really the decision came to me to make. You know, it wasn't that I independently wanted to make that decision. It was kind of brought to me that way, and things happened outside the bounds of marriage that, you know, it didn't leave me with a lot of choices.
I see.
Let me ask, being a pastor, it was probably a difficult situation for you. How did you handle it?
It was devastating because everybody's looking up at you. You live in a public life. So I felt the impression that people were making a lot of assumptions that were not true. And so it was difficult to have that face and to keep that smiling face while I'm preaching sermon. And in fact, people didn't know what was going on in my private life, and I'm still pastoring and ministering, and I found myself crying at the end of sermons and things like that. It was a very difficult time.
We saw you many times and just be able to extend a hug to you, let you know we're praying for you.
But oh, what a blessing.
What a blessing. What a blessing.
The Lord had for you.
Yes, the Lord, and things have been moving very, very quickly in your life. Well, tell us, Vivian, how did you meet Pastor Willis?
We met online.
You met online.
All right.
Yes.
All right. And then what happened? Just tell us. I just want to know. You know, I want to know.
Well, I was in this website for trying to find someone because sometimes your circle gets reduced, you know, your church, your space. And then I live in South of Chile, and I don't get to go out that much, and there are no dateable men in my church. It's college, so most of them are young, and I got to a certain age in my 30s, so I decided to give a try.
Give it a try.
Yes.
Were you born and raised in Chile?
No, I was born in Guatemala, really.
Okay.
Yes, my parents were missionaries, so they moved every year to different countries, places. And
So you bring a lot of wealth and knowledge and experience to this relationship.
Amen.
She's well traveled, Pastor.
Yes, she is.
Yes, we have to keep her in that lifestyle, okay?
Well, we often compete about, who's traveled the most, but I think she has me beat.
Yeah, oh, wow. So, Pastor, what happened when you saw her picture? What happened?
Her picture was breathtaking. It's really what captured me, and I ended up writing her 3 times after she already said, yeah, I'm not really interested. I'm looking in a different direction. And I kept writing her, and I made her laugh, so she couldn't resist.
That's
What
very
direction was she looking into?
I'm not sure, but
direction?
it wasn't my direction.
The thing is that when he wrote me, and I saw this guy that wrote me, it didn't have a picture profile.
Okay.
So I thought he was not serious, It's just those that write to any woman. So I was like, no, may God bless you, keep trying. And he wrote me the second time some weeks later, and again I rejected. No, I didn't write the second time.
You didn't write.
And then the third time he writes, I say, wow, this guy must have some confidence in himself.
That's what was in those emails or those messages.
Oh, magic. You gotta know how to write.
You leave that alone.
Leave those secrets alone. But did you ever upload a picture?
You know what? I ended up sending her an independent video, independent photos. And the reason is because there were members of my church on that same website. And so I think it might have made it a little uncomfortable, so I didn't want to put myself out like that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, Vivian, tell me what you said to me before, prior to the program. If he was serious about you, what did you tell him to do?
I told him, come see me.
Are you serious?
Come see me.
Not trying to come across the, like something across
Wait
the
a
many
minute.
minds.
That's the same thing that's being said in all cultures. Come see me. Come check me out.
But we're not just talking going a couple of miles here. We're talking, how long a flight was that, Pastor?
I think it's a 6 to 8 hour flight.
Oh my goodness.
It's not too bad because going to Iraq was like 16 hours, so
16
that was
hours.
easy.
All right,
That was
that's
easy.
true.
All right. So were you nervous? Okay, so how was this all arranged that you were going to meet in that particular time?
Well, I asked him to come see me on my birthday.
Oh. Do you hear that?
Specifics. No, there you go.
Now, ladies, that's what we have to do. Let's be specific what we want.
Specifics.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he flew over there. I picked him at the airport, and I took him to my little village.
Okay.
And he stayed over there. He brought a whole bunch of presents for me.
Yay.
I was, wow.
What kind of presents? What kind of presents?
Calvin Klein perfumes.
Oh, nice. All right,
goodness.
Pastor. And Pastor, what made you eagerly go? I mean, what sent you on that fire?
Well, as we were talking in our communication online, I realized that I wasn't the only one communicating with her. So, it was a great race to get to the finish line, but it was not a hurry because there was a lot to discover, but I wanted to see her. I wanted to
What
meet
was
her.
the time frame? What was the time frame from being online and you going?
I think we had talked maybe 5 months.
Okay. Okay.
So we're talking about some time that's involved from the time that you were purging up until this point.
Right, from the past relationship, I held to a quote, tough times don't last, tough people do.
Okay.
So I gave myself a space of time to heal and detox and to build up my spirit with the Lord, and I had encouragement from my parents, and I made it through by God's grace.
And be able to trust again.
That's right, that's right.
That was difficult what you went through.
But the Lord freed me.
He freed you.
He freed me,
great.
delivered me, and I was ready to move on to joy and the joy that the Lord had.
So you wanted to be married, have a family.
Absolutely.
So, and that joy was there.
That's right.
So, was it love at first sight?
Well, for me, it was.
All right.
For her, I don't think so. But for me, it was. I think she fell in love with my words.
Yes.
For your words.
Yes, he brought a lot of joy, speaking about joy, to my life. It was winter time in Chile, and every time I would read his messages, I would laugh, and the echo of my laugh would sound all around my house, and I was living by myself in a farm, south, cold, and it was so nice, so joyful. I was looking forward to read that message from him every day.
You know, we as women, we need letters. I need a little word. Send me a letter.
Is that all you need?
A card, you know, just so I can echo through my house. Echo through my house. So,
Well, Kim,
yes.
when you echo,
What?
I mean, it's
No,
like,
we're never going to
it's
go
like
there.
thunder.
You know, Pastor, there are 3 calls. You know, we talked about this before. There are 3, you know, I say Arthur.
Yes.
Arthur.
Yes.
Arthur.
That's correct.
Now, you know what I'm saying? You know, we have 3 calls, okay?
Kim,
What?
it's only been 1 call in my house.
So you recognizing that they say, you know, this first sight, first love, does it really exist, you know? Is that really true, Pastor, you think?
Well, when I saw her page, I knew that there was somebody I needed to get in touch with.
Excellent.
There was some communication through her photo and how I felt.
Yes.
My response was
Right.
immediate.
Right.
Excellent, excellent. So, where do you go from here?
Well, you know, I knew that from our communication, she was spiritual. And I think that spiritual component was very important for me, especially from my past experience. And as a pastor, you need somebody who can gel with you spiritually.
Yes.
And she definitely revealed that to me through our communication. It was important.
And also being the daughter of missionaries.
Right.
You know, she was already equipped to handle the life of a pastor's wife.
Right. I found that she could take the rigors, spiritual rigors that were out there and the challenges, and she had her own ministry going. So she was a Sabbath school teacher and was very involved in church.
Excellent.
And a pastor, do you speak Spanish?
Un poquito.
So I know you're learning.
Pastor, does that mean a little?
Is that
Or
little?
what does it
It's
mean?
like sanctification. It's a work of a lifetime.
That's good. That's good. So, Vivi, tell us your interest. You know, what are your hopes and aspirations for yourself? You know, what do you enjoy doing?
Right now I enjoy being a mom.
Yes.
And a wife.
Excellent.
Yes. We have beautiful Amanda. And how old is Amanda?
She's 5 months old.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Are we looking forward for other children?
Yes,
Oh,
we are.
excellent.
That's a blessing.
That's
That's a
great.
blessing.
That's good.
Just one more. So snuck that in.
Uno
One
más.
more. Uno. Okay.
That's what they are.
What do you really like about, you know, your husband? Tell us what you really find unique about him.
I think that he has a talent from God speaking. He had the word, delivering the word.
Delivering the word.
Yes,
Excellent.
I love that. I fell in love of that, and I think that's one of his strengths that I really admire.
Well, I agree with that 150%.
He is a preacher. All right.
Yeah,
Very
he
talented.
preach. Yeah.
That's what's something unique about Vivian that you have grown to recognize in her.
I think you could probably sense it here, but it's just her spirit. You know, she has this kind, gentle spirit,
Yes.
and it just transmits, and it just calms me. You know,
Now you said a key word. You did.
Don't
It
say
calms. No, I'm not saying it.
See, Pastor, you starting.
It calms you, right?
Right.
You know, especially, I mean, when you deal with the rigors of what goes on as a pastor
Right.
and in our social society
That's right.
today,
That's right.
you need that calming spirit when
We
you
do.
come home.
We do.
And Ellen G. White speaks about that consistently. Ellen G. White, the famous author.
that's right.
That we've used within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. However, the Bible says that a soft answer turns away wrath.
That's right.
And it's really, really important. And you know what?
What does-
And
what-
it does. It's a don't start.
I'm just trying to.
But
Can you say that to me?
A soft answer turns away wrath, but it's a work in progress. See, you're talking years of marriage and newlyweds, but it shouldn't matter.
right.
We should work on our communication
That's
at all
right.
times.
That's right.
I'm willing to work on mine, Kim.
Thank you, dear. All right, you know, let's talk about some of the trappings of internet dating, some of the concerns.
Well, you know, you don't know what to expect. You don't know what you're going to get. And she took a risk by inviting me there. But certainly there was a risk for me to travel over there. She could have looked at me one time and said, hey, I don't want to be, involved with you at all. So I would have been stuck in that country, you know. But I would say that there's a great risk for the ladies out there as well, just to be cautious and know what you get. Because people don't always present what they really are.
Right.
Yeah, so you have to be very careful.
Very careful. So how long, or how many times did you go back to Chile? Did Vivian come? Did you come to the United States?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
Excellent.
I came at least 4 times before we
times?
got married. Yes.
That is amazing.
So she had an opportunity to meet my family and whatnot. And I went over there several times as well.
That's wonderful.
How did the family respond to her?
Oh, I think they responded very positively.
Really?
You know, they also sensed her spirit as well.
Oh, yeah.
They're open, you know, to my travels and my experiences, and they met Vivian and they fell in love with her. So,
Well, who wouldn't, Pastor? And us knowing you, you know. Let me ask you this, you know, how has, you know, and like Arthur said in the beginning, multicultural marriages, because your first wife was multicultural. She's from Dominican Republic.
That's right.
So what do you think that, you know, some of the challenges, are we facing any different challenges? Because Arthur and I are both African American.
Right.
What are the challenges, or are there any, Pastor, that you see in the church?
I think that the challenges are probably the same. You still have communication issues. You still have wherever geographical issues, but I think the geographical issues can be greater because of the distance. But you have language challenges as well. But I think we do pretty well.
Okay. And your goal is to learn, be fluent in Spanish?
That's right. And, you know, I have a patient spirit, you know, so if there's sometimes there may be a language barrier because of how we define words.
Right.
You know, how we define
Interpretation
words.
of those words.
And interpretation of those words and how we see our reality.
Right.
You know, we just have to be patient, and we work through those things.
I saw that we were blessed at Vivian to interpret for a family life retreat for us. And I had made a statement, and I wasn't sure it was your mother-in-law or father-in-law, gave another term, and she understood it. And she kept going. And I want to say publicly, you really blessed us. We gave you a shout out too. You had left, we did.
Really was.
You know, your
Excellent.
sister-in-law said, let's not forget Vivian. You know, Heather said that. I said, oh, and we all shouted.
Yes.
But we realize your gifts and your talents, and we hope that you will be with us next year at the retreat.
Yeah,
We're
my
looking
pleasure.
forward to it.
You brought up something I think is extremely important when you were talking about basically it's the same as far as communication with male, female, whether it's a different culture or not.
Right.
You know, you're still dealing with a lot of feelings, and you grow to recognize those differences.
Right.
So that was something that did it take you a certain amount of time? Was it a long time involved, or was it less time?
Well, I think, you know, a person needs to be mature to get in a situation like that, to understand that there are differences. It's not Fantasy Island. You know, people might assume, you know, oh, from somebody from a different place, you know, it's great. The reality is that everybody has challenges. It's just how you manage them and how you approach those things that makes all the difference. And, you know, we have the Spirit of God with us, and we have the Spirit of, we want to stay together and work through things, and the Lord has blessed us.
And that's
So-
the key. They want to stay together.
I agree with what
Okay.
So okay, let's go back to the first sighting. You know,
Okay.
It must have been when you first saw the pastor. You said, "Oh, you know." So how did you respond to that? You saw.
Did you
him,
embrace? Did you all embrace when you first saw each other?
Wait a minute. That's not the
That's not the
question.
question?
No.
Oh, what was the question?
I'm asking was he a shock to you that he was African American?
But no, she has, you know, because didn't Pastor, you sent a video? She
I sent
saw.
video.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Okay.
I know.
You knew he was
Okay.
African American.
So as far as dealing with his culture, the way he was talking, how he interacted with you, was that something different or what?
No, it was very nice to talk and
Okay.
write with him. There were a couple of things that I do think were cultural, and they were shocking to me that we talked on those things, because I didn't understand what he was talking about.
Okay.
So we had to talk through. And
Can you give me an example of what was one thing, what was a shocking or a cultural difference?
well,
Well, it might be too
It's-
personal.
yes.
It's a little personal. Okay. Well, you know, we do know, like you said, the language barrier, the food barrier. Are you both vegetarians, or do
Yes.
you both?
Yes,
So
yes.
you're a vegetarian.
Yes, but there is a different. He said that the same challenges for every couple. I do think that are the same regarding to him as a person. I would say the same, but as environment, I do feel the difference.
Okay.
You know, I go to a different church worshiping style.
Right. Your worship style is different.
Yes, it's different. So
Okay.
I did encounter a different environment. But as far as is him, I do think it would be the same challenge with a Latin guy.
With a Latin guy.
Okay, we got it.
He's a Latin guy.
guy.
You see? Vivian, I love you. You are so, you know what? When I first saw you, she was with the baby, quiet, shy,
Yeah.
but she didn't know us.
Right.
But she's gotten to know me. I don't know about you. But you know, get to know us.
Because you're not shy and quiet.
I'm not shy, so we kind of.
You're pretty boisterous.
Am I?
Yeah.
Well, you know, Miss Vivian, First Lady, you know, and we refer to First Ladies because the pastors' wives as the First Lady of the church. But I recognize that you are strong and you are vivacious and you are not only beautiful, but you are a
quiet strength.
She a quiet strength?
It's quiet. You just said it's a quiet strength.
There's another difference. I don't feel like First Lady because that's one difference that is cultural, I guess. Because I am more behind scenes, you know. I like to serve very much, but I don't feel like leading.
You don't want anyone to put you on the pedestal.
No, not at all. I really like be behind
the scenes.
Yes.
Do you think that may be different with African American women?
They like
such as yourself.
We like we do. That is a cultural difference. We do.
You like to be up front.
Well, I'm narcissistic. Narcissistic, that behavior represents, or the terminology, person who is out front and not afraid to be in public. Pastor Willis, you're narcissistic. You're not afraid of crowds.
Not at all.
Not at all. He loves the camera. He loves people.
Do you think that maybe if you acquired some help to get you through that narcissistic personality?
No, I was born with it. I am who I am, all right? But listen, this is good. But and then, you know what they say, opposites attract.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
Yes,
But Arthur's a quiet storm. He's narcissistic, but he's a quiet one.
Right.
You see, you're quiet.
You think so?
I know so. All right. But Vivian, how do you like America?
I do. It's different.
It's different.
It's very different. Yes, it has a lot of comfortabilities. Like when you drive through to eat food.
You
know?
like that?
Yes. Yes,
The
it's
drive-through window.
We take that for granted. We take that for granted.
And the heat is way better than in our countries. The heat system, you know, like in Chile, wintertime, the whole time I'll have my nails and lips purple.
Purple?
Yes, and then I had to heat my house with wood, you know, and get them in the night and put more wood. So everything here is more comfortable. It's less natural. Less relationship with nature. It's more over there. So that's something I miss. Less relationships too.
Okay.
Well, you know, a lot of us were Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Pathfinders. We lived in the woods, you know. So if Bass had to go back to that, he would be all right in that, right?
No problem.
Because he's a camper, and then being in the military.
But Kim, I can't see you living in a wood at nothing. You know.
I enjoy. I'm like you, Vivian.
Anything.
I enjoy my furnace. I enjoy being able to drive through. Those
The
are
heat
some nice
runs
comfort.
me out of there, Kim.
I know. I have to keep the heat up. Even in the summertime, I turn the heat on. I do. I don't know. I've been like this as a child. I don't know. But I do agree with you that it's important that in a relationship, you're able to recognize that you are different,
Yeah.
but your vision is the same.
Right. The important key that we found out was the commonality. And that was very, very important in building our relationship, to find those things that we had in common. And that's what we build upon.
Did you go back on the internet and said, she's mine?
Oh, no, I never did that.
You didn't want to go in there. You stayed humble, right?
I think I had her take her profile down. So
That was it. That was it. Take that profile down.
Right.
Now, where was the wedding?
it was in Chicago.
It's in Chicago.
Oh, that's great.
Nice. And how soon after was Amanda born?
She was born like 1 year later.
A year later.
A little less than 1 year.
So, Pastor, you were ready to really marriage, having a child. Let's do this.
Well, I think that was just a part of the, be fruitful and multiply.
Is that what it is?
We're just following the biblical example.
Is that what it is? All right, but remember, one more.
How did your military background sort of blend in with your marriage?
Well, I think it had a big part to play in terms of my ability and desire to travel and have that exposure. I wasn't afraid to go to Chile as opposed to going to Iraq or anywhere else. So it didn't matter. It was just getting on a plane and going there. So for some people that's a huge gap, to make that leap. But it wasn't for me.
Wow.
That was something, So you just made the arrangements and found the flight.
That's right. And see, at the end of the day, my idea was, if it doesn't work out, I just had a tremendous experience that I don't have many friends that could say they had that same experience.
That's true.
I got a chance to go to Chile. I would have probably never gone to Chile if it wasn't for Vivian.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
She took me up to the Andes Mountains.
No.
She did. She did.
I know that was breathtaking.
She was an adventurer, ladies, and I fell in love with that part of her too.
Oh my! And an adventure again is a program in the Seventh-day Adventist Church that service before you reach a level of the Pathfinders.
Right.
So again, out in the wilderness, doing a lot of camping, being able to learn what plants we can and cannot eat.
But that's a little true.
That's right. So you grew up.
I took what he just said as saying that she's adventurous as an adult.
Outgoing.
Oh, I see.
But when we have to go to the mountains, that's going to be really something.
I'm looking forward to it.
You can't wear high heels going up to the mountains.
You know, well, that's okay. I just have to go in gym shoes. I'll go barefoot if I have to. All right? Ye of little faith. All right? I just want to know one more thing, you know, it may lead to something else. Can Vivian cook?
Oh, she's a great cook. She's a great cook.
She's good.
And you know, here's something that was really unique because, you know, she has her cultural aspects, her skills, cultural skills in terms of the beans and the rice and that. But she also wanted to learn what I liked. And so she started that progress in making foods that I liked. And she's good on both sides.
He taught me how to make stir fry.
All right.
And a couple of more things.
She's pretty good with lasagna now too.
And scrambled eggs.
Scrambled eggs? You didn't have scrambled eggs in Chile?
Not that way.
Not that way. Okay.
He likes
you put a little cheese in it, little peppers and onions and tomatoes.
Spinach.
Oh, spinach. That's an omelet. That's a whole meal. Well, listen, we will be right back with Pastor Phillip Willis and his beautiful wife, Vivian, right after this.
Pastor, one of the things that I was thinking about, how do you relate to her friends and how do you relate to the pastor's friends?
Well, I have met some of his friends and it's no problem. His friends are my friends.
Oh, that's
nice.
It's the same way too. Her friends I've gotten to know. I started to know some of her friends, get to meet some of her friends down from Chile, and a few of them came up for the wedding as well. So we get along pretty well.
Yes.
That's a blessing.
Yes.
Everybody's supportive then.
Everyone's supportive.
Excellent.
You know, I'm looking forward to being Facebook friends with you, Vivian.
Okay.
On Facebook with Pastor, and I love the pictures. That's how I found about the baby, the birth announcement. I saw pictures of Amanda. I cannot tell you how much it has meant to have you both here today and the challenges that we all face in our marriages, in our relationships, and in our friendships. Don't lose sight of who you are, as Vivian has not lost sight of who she is. She brings a lot to this relationship, and so does Pastor. Being able to recognize who he is and his cultural differences, but they have the same vision, and they want to work together and be one.
That's an excellent point. And most importantly, I think when you recognize that you want to stay on the same team, that you bring God into it, prayer is really important. Yes. When you run into any trials or tribulations, it's going to be really, really important that you stress your prayer life and that you continue to move forward no matter what.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we want to thank you both. Will you come back again?
Yes, thank you.
Sure, thank you for having us.
Excellent.
We want to thank you, our viewers, because without you, we wouldn't know how to make it work. I'm Dr. Kim Logan-Nowlin.
And I'm Arthur Nolan.
Keep making it work.